Just like politics, all news is local, and that's certainly the case on Idaho Matters, the weekday public affairs podcast from Boise State Public Radio. Listen today to hear about events and issues that impact Idahoans. Search Idaho Matters wherever you get your podcasts.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector, Idaho's daily news. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. This morning, we've got some details on an officer-involved shooting in a Boise park. You'll need to hear about the big change in the weather, plus we'll have a wildfire update. It is Wednesday, the 16th of October, and here are today's stories. The investigation will continue this morning into an incident where Ada County Sheriff's deputies shot and killed a suspect in a Boise park last night. The scene was the Optimist Youth Sports Complex. That's where deputies said they were searching for a suspect involved in a felony sex crime case. Officials added that the suspect was making suicidal statements to law enforcement. Deputies said the suspect pulled out a gun. That's when deputies fired their weapons. The suspect died at the scene. A critical incident task force investigation has begun, with Boise Police being the lead agency. Deputies involved in the shooting have been placed on administrative leave. 7 months after the failed execution of Thomas Creech, the Idaho Department of Correction has now made renovations to its lethal injection facility, that to streamline the lethal injection process. Jackson Holmes reports.
This month, the Idaho Department of Correction finalized renovations at the maximum security institution. The F block, where the execution chamber is located, now includes an execution preparation room. This room will allow the medical team to determine whether a peripheral IV is accessible. If it isn't, the F block now has space for a physician to place a central line in the condemned person. Once central line access is established, the inmate will be transported to the execution chambers, where lethal injections will be performed. IDOC's updated procedures require a live video feed of the execution preparation to be available to the state and approved witnesses. In February, Idaho stopped the execution of Thomas Creech after the medical team tried 8 times to locate a viable vein to complete the execution. Creech's attorneys argued that another attempt to execute Creech would violate his Fifth Amendment right against double jeopardy and Eighth Amendment right against cruel and unusual punishment. In September, a judge sided with the state and dismissed the attempts to stay the execution. Creech was sentenced to death in 1981 for killing a fellow inmate while serving time for a double murder. Jackson Holmes, Boise State Public Radio News.
A significant change is coming to our weather outlook. Spencer Tangent is at the National Weather Service office in Boise.
Hey, good morning, George.
Spencer, this significant system, what can you tell us about it? Where is it coming from?
Yeah, so this system is coming from the Pacific, so it's moving inland this morning, and that's going to cross into the Boise area this afternoon. It's going to be a cold front, so that's going to bring us much cooler temperatures, about 20 degrees cooler today than what we were yesterday.
Wow.
And also some rain along that cold front.
We'll start seeing or feeling the impact about what time this afternoon?
Yeah, so that's going to start moving in probably about 2 to 3 o'clock this afternoon, where that rain really starts to move in. Out ahead of that, we'll even see some cooler temperatures and gusty winds, but it'll be that mid-afternoon time where we start to see the rain push into the Boise area.
Got it. So temperatures down to the 60s today in the Treasure Valley?
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to be in the lower 60s today for high. So that's about 20 degrees cooler than what we had yesterday. Yesterday we had a high of 81, so today we're forecasting a high of 63, so almost 20 degrees cooler.
And what is the outlook for Thursday?
Yeah, so on Thursday we're going to see another system right behind this first one. So that one's going to be coming from the Gulf of Alaska. So that one's going to have even colder air with it, and that's going to drop us another 10 degrees from what we're going to see today. So on Thursday we're looking at highs in the mid-50s. So that's going to be almost 10 degrees below normal. So it's been quite a while since we've had below normal temperatures. And that's also going to come with some more showers off and on through the day. And up in the mountains, that will be in the form of snow. So snow levels will drop to about 4,500 to 5,500 feet. So even the upper elevations of the foothills and Bogus Basin could see a dusting of snow on Thursday.
And the long range for the weekend, will this dry out at all?
Yes, so we are looking at a drying pattern develop Friday into Saturday. So we're going to be dry all the way through Sunday morning, and then late Sunday into Monday is going to be our next chance of rain.
Wow.
So we're going to see some cold temperatures too, Thursday night and Friday night, where we'll be getting down into the lower 30s. So that'll be the first frost or freeze for a lot of people for this season.
Fire managers across the region are hoping that the sudden change in today's weather will benefit their efforts on the front lines of wildland fires that have been burning for months now. Regarding the massive lava fire, which has burned nearly 98,000 acres thus far, Valley County Sheriff Kevin Copieri addressed Valley County commissioners on Tuesday. He had this exchange with Commissioner Sherry Maupin.
I think we're all kind of over that. And we're tired of the surprise, and we're tired of seeing the smoke.
I noticed this morning we still have fire above God's acres.
Mm-hmm.
Are they trying to suppress that?
Yeah, they've had several hotshot crews in there. It's hot. What hurts on it is it looks like it's a straight line when you look at a map, but it zigzags and it's doing all that. And then like they'll have a line, a tree will fall across it that's on fire on the top, and then that starts going. And they're just constantly chasing hot spots around.
And the lava is now 90% contained. Meanwhile, investigators are still working to understand how an Idaho power line started the Valley Fire at the beginning of the month in East Boise. Julie Lucataw has details.
Speaking in front of the State Land Board on Tuesday, Fire Chief Josh Harvey said next steps depended on whether or not the power company was negligent.
And did they or did they not take steps to ensure everything was done to prevent that incident?
Depending on findings, Idaho Power could be billed for the cost incurred by the state to contain the fire and other economic damages.
And so we'll be working with, now our legal staff on making that determination, and their advice will determine where we go forward.
The fire has burned roughly 10,000 acres and is about 79% contained. It comes at the tail end of a long fire season that isn't over yet. This year, Idaho will spend $51 million fighting wildfires. That's 3 times more than in 2023. Julie Duqueta, Boise State Public Radio News.
And that is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. We'll see you back here on Thursday to stay in touch with the news between now and then. Check out BoiseStatePublicRadio.org or download the free Boise State Public Radio app. And thank you.
If you like podcasts like this, explore more from the Boise State Public Radio podcast family. There you'll find a mix of daily news, Idaho Voices, and in-depth series on a wide range of topics. I'm talking wild horses, political scandals, sustainable ranching, and militia groups in a post-January 6th world. Wherever you get your podcasts, just search Boise State Public Radio to find what Idaho's NPR station has in store for you.